Hello, my name is David. I'm from Ghana and I've been teaching here in Vietnam for the past 5.5 years. There are so many reasons why, as a black or as an African teacher, you should consider teaching overseas. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should consider teaching internationally. Let's get started. The first reason why any African teacher or any black teacher should consider teaching internationally is financial freedom. The salaries in most of these bilingual or international schools are mostly higher than the salaries in most African countries. Of course, this depends on your qualifications and your years of experience, but I will use myself as an example. The last salary I received in Ghana back in 2019 was around 1,600 Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to 101 US dollars at the time of recording this video. My current salary is 20 times more than that salary, and I don't know of any job that can make you get a 2,000% salary increase in less than 6 years. So teaching internationally, like you can see, you have the potential of gaining financial freedom, and that can help you save a lot and it can help you to invest in other stuff. Over the past 5.5 years that I've been here in Vietnam, I've been able to do so many professional development courses. I'm currently a US teacher, a US licensed teacher, which I don't think I would have been able to afford that if I were teaching back home in Ghana. So the first reason is financial freedom. The second reason why anyone should consider, or any black teacher should consider teaching internationally, is you get the opportunity to meet so many people and learn so many cultures. Currently, I'm here in Vietnam and I've learned so many things about the Vietnamese culture. One of them, which closely relates to education, is the Vietnamese Teachers Day. Back in Ghana, we do not have something like that. And during Vietnamese Teachers Days, every teacher here in Vietnam is celebrated, and you feel like you are in the right profession because of the prestige and respect that comes with teaching here in Vietnam. And you get to meet so many people. I've met so many friends from the Philippines. In fact, I met my wife here in Vietnam. She's from the Philippines. I play football with so many people from all spheres of life. I play football with pilots, people who work with the UN, people coming from the US, Canada, Australia, Cuba, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago. You get to meet so many people and learn so many things from them, and I think that enhances your life. So the second reason is the opportunity to meet people and then learn different cultures. And of course, you also exchange your culture, but I'll talk about that later. The third reason why any black teacher or African teacher should consider teaching internationally, which I think is very important, is there is an increasing demand for black and African teachers in most of these top-tier international schools. The student population in these schools are students coming from all over the world, students from Africa, students from Europe, Asia. But in most cases, the teachers in these schools are mostly from the US, Canada, Australia, these first world countries. And currently, these schools or these top-tier international schools, they want to be associated with diversity and inclusion. So they are looking for black teachers or African teachers, to join their staff, so that will be a representation or a similar representation of their students' demographics. But one thing you should understand is that they are not going to recruit you because you're a black teacher. They will first look at your qualifications and experience, and if you're a black teacher, that will be an added advantage. So the third point is there's an increasing demand for black and African teachers in these top-tier international schools. I think that is a reason you should consider teaching internationally. Reason number 4 is professional growth. When you teach in these schools, you get the opportunity to do professional development courses. And if it appears in your CV that you've taught in at least 2 countries, you are seen to be somebody who is highly qualified and somebody who is capable of, teaching in different countries, because you'll be able to adapt culturally in a country which is different from your country of origin. And in most of these schools, these professional development courses, they are paid by the schools. So that will help you, boost your career and help you also save money. So teaching internationally can help you to grow professionally, and in most cases it comes at the expense of your employers, and you get to save some money in your pockets. Reason number 5 is opportunities to travel. I love traveling, and my favorite place so far here in Vietnam is Phu Quoc Island. That island is very beautiful. It has crystal clear waters. They have so many activities on that island, and I've been there for like 5 times already, and I feel like I've not had enough of that place. So whenever I get the opportunity, I'll definitely fly back to that place. You know, when you teach internationally, you get opportunities to travel, like I'm talking about with respect to Phu Quoc. And sometimes in some of these schools, you are sponsored on travels for professional development, or you go with some students for some sports competitions. The opportunities to travel in international education is, they are endless. So if for anything at all, consider teaching internationally, because you get the opportunity to travel around the world. Reason number 6, which is very dear to me, is the opportunity to make a difference. Currently in my school, everybody in the school, perceive me as somebody who smells really good. In fact, I really smell good all the time. Like you can see here, I love perfumes, and I like to wear perfumes to school, and that improves the moods of my students. And that is the message all over the places that I've worked at. In my former school in Vietnam, in all the schools that I've worked at in Ghana, I'm known to be a very good smelling teacher. And most of my students also see me as somebody who is very positive. In fact, one student, I think a few years ago, wrote on Facebook, a student from Vietnam, wrote on Facebook that Teacher David is the most positive person she's ever met in her life. When you teach internationally, you get the opportunity to represent where you're coming from. And the trainings that you've had from childhood, you get to share it with the students. And sometimes most of these things that you do go a long way to impact the lives of the students that you stand in front of every day to teach. One other thing too is to spread your culture, or share your culture with your students. Last academic year, in one of the topics that I taught, I think I covered nutrition and food nutrients. I talked about balanced diet, and I mentioned jollof, and my students were intrigued. Everybody wanted to taste jollof because of the way I described it and because of the pictures they saw. So I organized a jollof party for my students, and they really loved it, and they are always asking, when am I repeating the jollof party? So when you teach internationally, you get the opportunity to make a difference and impact the lives of the students that you meet. In most cases, when you teach internationally, your quality of life will improve. Normally, the systems that you meet in your overseas countries, they are kind of different and better compared to that from your home country. If I use Vietnam as an example, in all the schools that I've taught at, there is this concept of cover teachers and teachers having days off. That is, if you are not able to go to school for any reason, you just send an email and the school will organize a cover teacher to cover your lessons. When I was in Ghana, there was nothing like that. So you get to experience certain things here that you do not experience back home, which I think will improve your overall life. You understand? And the safety you get here, I mostly play football with friends sometimes after 10 p.m. We start a game at 10 p.m. or 10:30 and close at 12. And it is a very safe place to walk around. After 12 or 1, you see people walking alone in, lit places or dark places without any fear of danger or something like that. So generally, your quality of life increases or it improves. And then in some cases, when you work in certain schools, you get some benefits like housing. Your children go to school for free. And these are some of the benefits that sometimes back home you do not get. So overall, your quality of life improves in most cases when you are teaching internationally. So I think that is one reason you should consider teaching overseas as a Black or as an African teacher. Reason number 8 of why you should consider teaching internationally as a Black or as an African teacher is the opportunity to advance in your career because of your unique and diverse perspectives you have on classroom management, curriculum development, teaching styles, and a whole lot of stuff related to education. In my former school, during the last year, I was the deputy head of secondary science, And the year before, I was the grades group leader for the grade 7 in my former school. And I got these roles because of course, the way I taught, my unique way of teaching, my unique way of classroom management, pedagogy, managing students, creating relationship with students. Because of your unique perspectives, you are likely to land leadership roles in international teaching. So I think you should consider that. You might be a principal in an overseas school one day. You never know. Reason number 9, which I think will resonate with so many people. Those of you who want to immigrate to different countries or certain countries, those of you who want to Japan, teaching is an opportunity for you to immigrate to certain countries like the UK, the US, Australia, Canada, yeah. So you might want to consider international teaching and immigrate to these countries if you are interested. Of course, you would have to be highly qualified and experienced and apply for jobs and get interviewed, land your jobs, go there, perform well. And you never know, you might get a permanent residence and eventually you end up being a citizen in that country. That is if you are interested. So if immigration is one thing you really care about, you should consider international teaching, and that can help you land your new passport. Finally, reason number 10, which is definitely not the least of the reasons that I've mentioned earlier, is the opportunity to be a role model to so many people. Growing up where I lived, I didn't know anybody who was teaching internationally. Most of the professions back then was a doctor, a lawyer, electrician, fisherman, farmers, teachers, local teachers. But the concept of teaching internationally, I didn't see anybody doing that back then. But I am proud to say that today I get to inspire a lot of Ghanaian teachers. I get to inspire teachers from all over the world, from the UK. Sometimes the guys I work with, those from the UK, they tell me I inspire them with some of the things that I do. Teachers from Nigeria, I get so many messages all the time. And even my students, like I mentioned earlier, one student said I am the most positive person she has ever met. Imagine the kind of feeling you feel when you get messages like that from people telling you keep doing what you are doing because you are inspiring a lot of them. So when you teach internationally, you get to be the idol of so many people, and trust me, that is a very good feeling. And in conclusion, I would like to tell you that never apologize for being different, because you never know who you are inspiring. If you found value in this video, I would appreciate you like, you subscribe, and then you share this video so that a brother can hear or see what is going on, and probably this brother or sister might consider teaching overseas. I will see you in my next video. Peace.